Hey folks, in this week's video I'm going to focus on something that I learned recently that I don't believe I've ever been exposed to before, and that is concerning the Goodyear Endurance tires here on my Jayco Pinnacle fifth wheel. So if you're one of my subscribers or you own a Jayco product, then you know that they only use Goodyear tires on pretty much all their towables now, I think. And so my fifth wheel came with these Goodyear Endurance tires, and for those curious, these the exact size on them are the ST255 85R16. They are load range E, which is kind of unusual to install on such a heavy fifth wheel, you know. Usually you'd see like a G or H rated tire on something this size. But to be fair, they do have a load capacity of 4,080 pounds each. So each of the tires has a capacity of 4,080 pounds, which, you know, that's pretty close to a G rated tire as far as the load capability is. The construction's still different on these tires. But anyway, if you add up all four of the tires, you know, at over 4,000 pounds each, that is 16,000 pounds combined. And when I weighed my Pinnacle, this is the 37 MDQS floor plan. When I weighed the Pinnacle, the axle weight, this is everything full, you know, even with a little bit of water in the tanks, the axles only weighed 12,600 pounds. So to be fair, again, based on all the numbers, even though these are load range E and it might seem a little bit anemic, they are well within the numbers and specs for this particular tire given the weight that's exerted on the axles of the fifth wheel. But anyway, all that to say, a few months back I was walking by my tires one day and the sun happened to be shining kind of parallel to the sidewall, you know, kind of this direction here, perpendicular to the tread. And something I noticed on one of the tires caught my attention, and it was this tire right here. If you look down, I noticed an indentation in the tire. And it's not a bulge, it's an indentation, meaning it's almost like a dent. And it kind of runs perpendicular to the wheel here. And you see it on the sidewall, and then it goes out to the tread basically and stops there. So I saw this initially, it really caught my attention, and then I started looking at the other tires and noticed some of the same things. In fact, this tire has another one about right here. And again, I don't know how well that shows up in video, but it's basically like a dent in the tire that runs perpendicular across the sidewall there. So it really caught my attention, and like I said, started looking at some of the other tires on the RV and noticed they all had them to varying degrees. You know, some were more pronounced than others. Well, anyway, I got really concerned initially with the indentations that I was seeing, and so I researched it. I looked it up online. In fact, I don't even know if I called it an indentation when I was searching the first time. I probably just put down dent, you know, in the tire sidewall. But finally I stumbled upon a couple helpful articles. One was from Tire Rack, which you know is a big online tire retailer, and then the other was from Continental Tires. And basically both of the articles explained that the indentations, when they run perpendicular to the wheel and then go out straight to the tread on the sidewall, and then when they're indentations only, meaning that they're not protruding, it's not the opposite, right? Then that's completely normal according to the articles. It's just a result of the way that the tires are made. And I'll put links to the articles I found in the description below. And although I noticed the indentations a few months back, maybe, or I should say probably, they've been there all along and I just wasn't paying attention. You know, I'm still kind of getting used to these E-rated tires. I had on my last fifth wheel G-rated tires. They were real nice 14 ply from Saloon. And these Goodyear tires, they're just quite a bit different. You know, just the height of the sidewall alone, it's over an inch taller than the Saloons that I had on my last rig. They look really big in person. I'm not sure if that comes across in the video. You know, I've even heard some people refer to them as beast tires. So it's just a little less common tire combination on such a big and heavy fifth wheel. Here's a look at the tires on the other side, and you can see really all the tires have some indentations to varying degrees. This one here, I see an indentation right about here. I don't know how well that shows up in the video. It's a little bit smaller, and then on this rear tire I see a little bit larger indentation right about there. Here you can see my fingerprints on there, but that one runs again perpendicular to the wheel and kind of goes out there, and it's like a dent basically. It's an intrusion, basically an indentation, as opposed to the opposite where it's protruding. So you can see really all the tires have some degree of indentations on them. Now for those curious, my fifth wheel is a little over a year old since the manufacture date, and then you can see the date codes on the actual tires themselves there, the 1321, And so that means they were manufactured in 2021, the 13th week. So about toward the end of February, let's just say, or beginning of March, somewhere around that vicinity. So the tires are only about 1.5 years old, and you can see that the fifth wheel stays in storage. It's out of the sun most of the time. It only really gets maybe an hour of sun in the mornings each day, and otherwise the tires are pretty well shaded. And then I've probably logged about 4,000 miles or so on the tires themselves there. So pretty modest. But anyway, I wanted to give you some close-up views of what these indentations look like on the tires so that you can get a better idea and compare and see if you have any of these indentations on your Goodyear Endurance tires. So anyway, researching the issue online kind of put my mind at ease. I mean, I don't claim to be a tire expert by any means, but the articles I found, they seem to describe this exact characteristic that I noticed on my tires, and it describes it as basically just a result of the way the tires are manufactured. And so it's completely normal. It's just something visual. And the articles say that it doesn't impact the performance of the tires. So I feel pretty confident that I don't need to be worrying about these indentations, but certainly let me know if you disagree and chime in the comments below. So I wanted to put this video out in case other owners have noticed the same thing, you know, really both for informational purposes, but also, like I said, if you're watching now and you know more about these indentations, or maybe you've encountered related issues on your Goodyear Endurance tires, if you could share more details in the comments below so we can help each other out. You know, I've always kind of thought in the back of my mind that I might replace these endurance tires one day with maybe a G-rated or an H-rated tires, perhaps closer to when they're about 2 years old or so. But I haven't decided if I'll go that route or maybe just stick with the same tires. You know, I'm still kind of getting used to these endurance tires that are E-rated. On my last fifth wheel, I'd upgraded to Saloon tires. I think the model was S637, and that was a G-rated tire, you know, 14 ply, really well-made tire. Just seemed like a solid choice, especially for the price point. So that's certainly on my short list. But again, if you've gone down that path already and you had the endurance tires on your fifth wheel from Jayco and you've upgraded to something different, would love to hear about that in the comments below. I think it'd be really helpful too to the rest of the community. So definitely let us know. But as always, thanks for watching.